Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of the video that I'm going to make. This is the second one out of 3. I'd like to dedicate this video to my dad, Captain Bob Lewis. When I was at the age of 7, he bought my first cast net, and I haven't looked back ever since. Been throwing cast nets for over 40 years, and the one thing about it, we made a living doing this for many years. This stage, as far as in the cast net, what I want to do is go through the theory as far as to show you exactly from A to Z, from the rope all the way to holding the net and clearing the net, which is a very big thing that I have even seen professionals do, where they get a chance to get the net, they get ready to throw, the net comes out like a banana. Well, the one thing about it, the brails as far as in the net are tangled, and they haven't learned the proper way to actually clear the net to get it ready to throw. Alright, each of the cast nets, basically the rope is very simple. It's got a loop as far as on one end. We're going to put the loop as far as on our wrist, as far as over there. Very loose, guys. This is a very important thing, very small, but very important. I've had in my experiences where I was actually throwing a net, the guy backed over the net. I was in the cockpit catching ballyhoo, he backed over it, the wheel tangled the net, the rope itself, and pulled me over to the side. I was lucky enough to do this, what I'm showing you. It's a loop knot as far as on the rope. Most people will tighten that loop knot as far as on their wrist. You do not want to do that. Keep it loose, because if you do have a tangle, you can bail out of the net and let the rope go, and let the rope actually go with the net and everything else, and you're safe and you stay in the boat. A lot of people have died throwing cast nets as far as throwing the net, getting wrapped up in an outboard or a wheel and getting pulled overboard. You do not want to do that. What you want to do is keep your net your loop of your rope very loose. That's the way I like it, where I can actually move it on my wrist, but still close my wrist and get it out. The rope, as far as coiling like a regular dock rope, you want about a 1 foot loop as far as in the rope itself, and just coil it as far as on your palm of your hand. Now, once we get to what's called the horn, as far as on the net, there's a swivel rope and the brails as far as on the net itself. What you want to do is stretch your horn all the way out to a point to where the net is tight. You get the net tight as far as where the horn is. The swivel should be right at the horn itself. You want to grab the net right at the base of the horn. This is something that I do that I'm going to show you that a lot of people that are vertically challenged, like all my mates that are 5'6", 5'7", can actually throw any size net. The question is, Jim, it's a 14-foot net. What you can do is you can throw anything after I show you. It doesn't matter the size of the net. It depends on how many your fingers and how you hold the net, which is very important. Even professional mates, professional captains miss this point, so it makes it very difficult for them to throw a net. If you notice, a lot of the mates throw the cast net, and as far as on the charter boats, the captains do not. Sometimes there's a problem with that. What I'm showing you right now is how I hold the net. As far as in my hand right now, I hold the basic palm of the net as far as in the palm of my hand. A lot of people will coil the net and keep it in the palm. What happens is it gets too big for your hand, so therefore a lot of people use the excuse, I can't throw a 12, 14-foot net. Yes, you can. This is the way you do it. You keep the net as far as in the loops, the same theory as far as how you have the rope itself. What I do is I hold it in the palm. My first one goes in between my two fingers, as far as in between my two fingers, as far as over on the other side. Now I'm going to take this net as far as in 3 different areas. I have one in my first finger, one in my second finger, and then my last one is going to be in the palm of my hand, which basically is easy for me to close my hand all the way around the net, which is very important. Okay? And I'm going to go through that again. Now you can see where the nets are actually, the loops of the net are inside my fingers as far as on the outside, instead of trying to carry the whole net as far as in the palm of my hand. Now what I do is I only have the horn as far as in the palm of my hand, and the last loop as far as in the palm of my hand. Now, as far as clearing the net, the clearing of the net is very important, because what happens is a lot of people won't clear the net. They'll pick the net up and try to throw it. It never works that way. What you want to do is clear the net. Now what I do, see how the brails are tangled as far as on the net itself? That's a common problem with a lot of different cast nets. So what I do is I pick it up as close as I can. I put my right leg out. Very, very important. First thing I do is I clear the net by pulling both lead lines at the same time, and then once I go into a tangle, I know my net is clear. Right here I have a tangle as far as in the brails. That would be a hard time to throw because that's going to get tangled later on down the line. What I'll do is I'll clear that and then keep on going as far as on my leg itself. Now my net's clear. Alright guys, now we're getting ready to load the net as far as the way we're going to throw it. Now, what is important about the last loop as far as in throwing the cast net? You want to take your last loop right at your belt level, just a little bit below. The reason for this is you have to throw over a covering board, you have to throw on a bow. It's very, very simple to be able to get confused as far as where to hold it. What you want to do is go down below waist level, grab your net in the same coil that you had before. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear the net again. As you saw, I cleared the whole net. This time I'm going to take half the net. This is my style of throwing a cast net. It has been adapted over many years from Frank Wheelton all the way down to the Hawaiian mode to the Almirado mode. I do not put the leads in my teeth. That is old school. That'll absolutely tear your teeth up, and you don't want to do that. My theory as far as throwing a cast net basically shows you that you don't have to put the lead or the lead line in your mouth. Old school, don't do it. It's bad for you. Now, what I do is I take the cast net, very simply, take half of the net over my right knee. Now, what's going to happen is you'll see where half the net's on my right, half the net's on my left. The secret in a lot of videos is this. When I grab the net, this is the hardest part of the whole net. I want to grab behind the net, and I'm going to throw that behind my left shoulder, as you see right there. The reason for that, folks, is that we have the whole net in between here and here. We're going to use the best of both worlds. We're going to use the Hawaiian style, which is the left side on my shoulder, and we're going to use the Almirado style, which is up here, which I'm going to show you. I take the inside of the lead line, and when I do cast net seminars, I go with the kids, I work with the kids, and I show them. The inside lead line is the inside that drapes closest to your body. You're going to take that and you're going to hold that inside with 2 fingers, which now you have as far as on your net itself. Lift the inside lead line on your shoulder. If you notice that half the net is already open, it doesn't matter whether it's a 10-foot net, 12-foot net, 14-foot net, half of it's open. The other part is Almirado style, which you're going to take the net. This is part where you would have it in your teeth. We're not going to do that. We're going to hold it with our 2 fingers. Almirado style is you're going to take a third of the net and you're going to drape it on your right hand, which is very important. Drop the net to where your hands are approximately 1.5 feet, 2 feet away from each other. Grab the lead line just like you would in Almirado style. Flip the lead line around the leads themselves. Now, as you can tell, the net is completely open. There is no way that you can screw this up. As you can see, the net is absolutely wide open. Now when I throw it, this is where I see many professionals get carried away as far as with this. Now as I throw the net, I'm going to let the lead line do the work for me. I'm going to push it out and I'm going to pull the leads back, but I'm not going to throw it until the lead of the centrifugal force where the leads go forward, which is very difficult to get. This is the one thing that takes many days of practice to get it ready to throw. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push the lead out one more time. I'm going to let the leads come back, and as the leads swing forward, you're going to see the leads come off my shoulder and open up into a perfect circle. We're going to do this as a demonstration right now, and then we're going to take you out on the boat and we're going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. This is a dry run. This is in the yard. All right, now watch, folks. Push the lead line out straight away from you, back, and then get ready to throw. You ready? All right, folks, this is a different angle. We'll give you a little bit better shot as far as what we're doing. Now I got the net and the horn just like we described before, as far as in the palm of my hand. We take the first coil, I put it in between my 2 fingers right here, my index finger and my other finger. The loop goes into my hand like that, not to make the bunch in my palm of my hand so much bigger. My third one is going to go in between my next finger, and my next one is going to be in the palm of my hand. 14-foot net, I could throw a 16-foot net, I still have 2 fingers left. Now, remember what I said about clearing the net. Over your right knee. I'm only going to do half of it this time because I know the net's clear. I'm going to swing it over, across the top of the net. I'm going to take the lead line, approximately half the net, put it over my shoulder. As I take the lead line, the inside lead line, I'm going to pull it up over my shoulder, start my swing as far as with the net itself. As you can tell, my right hand is completely free. Take a third of this net, as far as Alamorada style, as far as on my arm. Drop it, and I want my hands a foot away from each other as far as where the lead line is. At the end of this whole process, my hands should be a foot away from each other equal. That way it's not too much weight on my left side or on my right side. The net weighs approximately 28 pounds, so it's a lot of weight as far as on your shoulder. Now remember, push out, come back, and then let the lead line let the leads do the work. Here we go. We're going to show it in demonstration. Push it out, let the leads come back. Perfect circle, 14, 28 feet across. Alright guys, as you can see, a perfect 28-foot circle. As we go on to the next time, anybody can throw a cast net in the backyard. What makes the difference between guys that do it professionally and the guys that throw it in the backyard are what I'm going to show you in the next video, which I'm going to take you out on 3 different boats, and I'm going to show you actually how to catch bait, the theory of where the bait's going, and how you throw the net over the bait itself. Very important factor that I'm going to show you in the next one is how to tuck the net and keep the bait in the net and apply it into a live well, which is the most important thing, because now you're catching live bait, you want to keep your bait alive. That's what I'm going to show you. That's what separates me from the rest of the professional crew.